Here we go. I hit the button. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. It's your favorite paranormal investigator. My name is Tim Sudano with Paranormal Insight. Tonight's guest, as you see in the banner, is Shawn Kelly, and he's been with the Pittsburg Paranormal Society. I don't know if he's still running that. I think he said he stopped. I'm not sure about that, but he also hosts Into the Night on twice a week on here on the UPRN. So without further ado, let's bring on Shawn Kelly. Shawn, welcome to the show.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Heidi's on. Thank you.
Heidi is on. Hey, Heidi, how's it going?
Yeah.
From Boulder,
How you doing?
Colorado.
Thank you for having me on, bud.
Oh, sure, man. Happy to have you on. Thanks for having me on your show last time. That was great.
Sure. Yeah, that was a decent show. Yes.
That was fun. It was pretty good. To echo some of the questions you asked me,
Okay.
I'm going to ask you when you're now. First off, do you still have Pittsburgh Paranormal?
No, I retired Pittsburgh Paranormal Society back in 2022.
Oh, okay.
I have had a group since 2006, and to be honest with you, Tim, I was just getting too old because, I mean, at one time when I started, I could go out to 3, 4 in the morning and go to work at 8 in the morning, you know.
Oh, yeah.
But man, I tell you what, as I grew in age, those long nights on Saturday night just didn't cut it for me.
Yeah,
And
they'll kick your butt after a while. That's for sure. I've had
yes, it
similar
does.
experience.
Yes.
Oh man. So when you were in the field, what equipment were you running?
Um,
Just out of curiosity.
okay. A little background of the group a little bit. For all the years that I've had PPS, I had over 150 people in my group.
Wow.
And but what I'm saying is they would come and then they would go start their other groups, stuff like that. But personally, me, I'm a sensitive and a psychic. But my to go to would be your K2 meter, which picks up EMF energy, and the digital camera. That's all I use. I'm old school. I don't believe
Yeah.
in all this equipment that they got out there now. It's crazy, man.
That's some
Plus, it's
interesting
spendy.
stuff. Yeah, that's for sure. You know
Joe
what I forgot to
Fox,
mention
boy.
last time?
Yes.
Hey, Joe Fox is on.
Yeah.
Hello. Good to have you on, man. Hi to you too. Say hi. I said hi to you earlier, but I'll say hi again. We know one thing I forgot to mention that I do use is the laser grid.
Okay.
I found that
Yeah,
very
I've
useful.
used it. Oh, yeah, absolutely. You know what's really cool about the laser grid? Even though you're in a house or a place where you're investigating, okay, and
Mhm.
you pick stuff up that shadows that go through. But my neighbors have one, but that during Christmas time, okay, and, and sometimes I'll sit on my porch. Um, SLS camera. That's what we were talking.
Yeah, yeah. I like those too. I just don't have one.
No, I don't either. I don't believe in them. I don't believe in them. But I would
It
sit
has
on our front
its
porch
uses, but
and I'd just watch their house to see if I see any shadows walking by. I never did, but I don't know.
All
But
right. Yeah,
SLS
how do you mention the
cameras,
SLS camera?
yeah. I've had a couple people in my group that have had the SLS camera, and
Hmm.
you know, I'm on the fence with those. Okay. Um, the way I would do it if someone had an SLS camera is that sure they pick up a stick figure, right? And they pick up a stick figure, and what would happen would be um, I would have to have another piece of evidence along with it. You know what I mean? Hey,
Oh yeah.
Tim, my mom just pulled
Yeah.
in. I have to go see if she has anything to carry.
Okay.
Um, do you mind
I'll
if
take
I?
over briefly. All
Yeah. Okay. Thank
right.
you.
I'll see you when you get back. That went to you. Let me go to me. There we go. That's better. Um, so yeah, let's talk briefly. Those in the chat, if you have any questions regarding equipment, do you have experience with equipment on your own? Let me know. And let me tell you about SLS cameras from my perspective. I rented. I think I mentioned this on Sean's show, but I didn't rent. I'm sorry. I downloaded an SLS app that was supposed to perform the same function for my phone. And we left it running on one session we had about a year ago. And we only got 2 minutes of something. It was kind of interesting because there's this little dude hanging out in the fireplace of this location. And it looked like a full, it was a little person, probably about, I don't know, you can't tell on my camera, but that's about, what, 6 inches high, hanging out in the fireplace. But I only got 2 minutes of that footage because that's when the app free period ended, and then they wanted me to buy in for like $50 or something like that. It was pretty ridiculous. So if anyone knows a free SLS app on the phone, I'll take it. Send that my way. But one of the advantages I find, and Sean's right, there should be corroborating evidence from a different full. Have I seen a full apparition, Joe? Yeah, I have. Without the aid of an SLS, it showed up on a standard everyday camcorder with night vision. It was eye opening. I mean, we didn't see it live, but on playback we saw it. Um, that was the condo. Was it a condo? I said duplex. That's what it was. It was a duplex case. I also talked about that on Sean's show. But we had an opportunity to go into the main bedroom, and there was a full length mirror. And one of our psychics just kind of fell into this. It was, I wouldn't call it a trance, but she was overwhelmed with emotion and just could not look at anyone, buried her hands in her face just like that as we all sat crisscross applesauce on the store on the thing on the floor. That's what the thing's called. I can't talk. And on playback, we see the image walk through and stand hands on hips and just berated this poor young psychic. It's like, don't come into my space. This is my place. And we had the feeling it was the old landowner who came back to give us grief and to give these people grief too. But it was really, really like hard hitting. He was making this poor girl cry, like weep openly, and she was, she. I kept saying, well, you tell him to come to me, and then apparently this is something I didn't mention on Sean's show when I said that. She gets this funny little wiggle to her, and she picks her head up for the first time this whole session. She says he's doing this. And you know what? On the playback, we actually see him do this. It was pretty cool. And I was like, what's this mean? What's he? No, no, no. What's that? What's tisk tisk? What's going on? Relay that. Give me some information. And he says, and he's just shaking his head. That didn't translate on camera, unfortunately. But she said, like, you shouldn't be doing this. You shouldn't be here. You shouldn't be. It's like, And then I start getting a little ticked, both professionally and personally. It's like, okay, it's time to antagonize to see if we can get anything to happen. And you got to be careful when you antagonize. Don't go whole hog into it. Step by step, see what reactions you get. If you go, bonkers like some of these investigators do on the TV shows, they'll go nuts and they'll say, I'm going to throw you out of here in the power of Christ and yada, yada, yada. And they start railing. They take a really religious bent toward it. And dude, if someone does that to you in person, like person to person, living person to person, you're gonna get a little. That's an offensive move. I mean, you just called me some sort of demon by just mentioning all that stuff, and you're demonizing the individual. So I think there has to be some parapsychology taken into effect when you do that stuff. So I answered up. I said, "Oh, you wanna mess with someone? You come mess with me. I'm right here." That's what I said to this thing, and she got more of this from him. We saw that. And on the playback. And then I said, guess what? It's time for you to go. Time for you to go. Get out of here right now. We're done talking to you. And she kind of picked herself up again and said, yeah, he's leaving. He's going away. So it worked. But, I didn't expect it to work that quickly, but it did. And we see this individual on the playback walk backward through that mirror. Hey, Shawn's back.
Yeah.
And there he is. Woohoo!
All right. Thank you. Thank you.
Sure. I was just telling everyone about the guy in the mirror.
Okay.
And how it took me doing a little bit of antagonism to get this guy to leave, because he was assaulting my psychic,
right,
and just verbally, right, and it was really just it was turning into a bad situation. So I got aggressive, like I said, and I said, "Get out, we're done," and he left, and it worked out. Other things happened.
You know what? But... Yeah, I understand. But sometimes you have to put your foot down. Thank you, Heidi. But when it comes down to back to the SLS, if you don't mind,
sure.
I had what I would do with equipment like the SLS is someone picks up a stick figure on, right, and I would put a K2 meter right in the area where it's at, or do like a digital voice recorder, right? You know what I mean? Just to see if we can actually know that there is a spirit there. And I think it only happened one time out of 20 times that we did that. So that's what kind of puts me on the fence with the SLS. And when they first came out, there are a lot of problems with them. And, since I've been away from the field since 2022, I don't really know if people still use them or not.
I think they do to a degree, but it was, it's few and far between. They're not exactly inexpensive pieces of equipment to have for investigation.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just a matter of, can you afford it and can you use it properly? Because you're right, those things were notorious for false positives.
Yes,
in the
exactly.
beginning.
Mm-hmm. So people would come out and make adjustments on it, and the adjustments did not seem to work. But I'd like to share a story with you since you're talking about ghosts in the mirrors. Okay.
Sure. Go ahead.
We did an investigation up in Leechburg, Pennsylvania. So what happened was So I'm snapping pictures all through the bedroom. The bedroom was down in the basement. But like you, me, I love taking pictures of mirrors, looking into the mirror. I do. I just like taking pictures because there's so much activity that goes on in the mirrors or around mirrors that I just love the mirrors. But what happened was, so we were there in Leechburg, and I took like about 10 to 15 pictures of the mirror. And
Can I
I didn't
pause you right
realize
there?
it.
I'm sorry. Is this in your baseline or is this during the investigation?
No, this is during the investigation. This is
Okay.
during the investigation. And so took them home. And, at that time, I had like about 300 pictures on my camera. And the next day I went through them and I was just like, nah, I'm getting tired of this crap. So about a week later, I went back to it. Okay. As God is my witness on my father's grave, dude. I looked at this one picture. This is such the truth. There was a picture, a photo of a goat's head. Okay.
Really?
Wearing a suit and tie, no lie. And he was holding human heads in his arms. Yes, that is the truth.
Wow.
I've been like going all over God's creation to find that picture, and I just can't. And
I was just gonna say, bring it up, show it. But
I mean, it's like I'm looking at my picture and I'm like, I'll be damned, that's a goat head. And then you could actually see the tie, and yes, flipping yikes, buddy. Yes. And,
no kidding.
But if it was by itself, that would have been a creepy picture. But what was really creepier is when he held the heads of human beings in his arms, man. Yes. True story.
Like outstretched like this, holding it by the hair, or in his arms?
Or like this. He had
outstretched.
Head
under the arm? Okay.
Under the arms, yeah.
Okay. Yes. Damn.
That was but what was sad about that house was extremely, extremely haunted. Okay. Yeah. There's some, I seriously gotta find these pictures. But oh my hell no.
Big nope. Yeah, I saw that, Heidi.
So we went out into their backyard and I had somebody taking pictures of me. Okay. And honest to God, there was a double exposure of me. No lie. Now, digital cameras do not.
Yeah, that's impossible.
Yes. Okay. Well, someone took a picture with a digital camera and there were two of me going the other way, like opposite. That was, yeah.
Wow.
We had a person.
I mean,
yeah.
Wow.
That was one creepy place to him. I mean, it wasn't all peaches and cream and your happy-go-lucky, ghost that did that house. I mean, it was terrible.
Yeah, right, man. It
was terrible.
That's.
But the goat head with the damn suit jacket and tie, with the heads and the arms.
Yeah, that's dark, man. That's like Heidi said. Nope.
But it's really cool. Man. And I don't know if you ever tried this, but I've done it a lot of times. Maybe you offered a suggestion to you. If you get two mirrors, okay, and you face them each other, take pictures right down the middle. We do that all the time.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
A lot of good evidence through the mirrors. Mm-hmm.
Interesting. Are they old school mirrors or are they newer mirrors? Because some of the silverbacked ones are. It doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter. Well, the silverback one, I got something to tell you on that one. So we were down at Nemacolin Castle. It's a real big castle, old school, very haunted, down in Brownsville, PA. And so somebody took a picture of the mirrors. My people love mirrors, not like me, I guess. I don't know. But oh my God, someone caught this picture of a lady holding a dog. Okay. And they were
Okay.
going off like, yeah, look at this picture, look at this picture. Until somebody in my group debunked it. Okay. Here it's one of them back old ones. And
Yeah.
what happened was at the time that that lady was sitting with her dog, right? There might have been like a real bad lightning storm, you know what I mean?
Hmm.
That it actually put the photo of the girl and the dog on that mirror.
So it was a photo somewhere else in the castle?
No, it was in the bedroom of the little girl's room.
Oh, okay. So this photo doesn't exist anywhere. Except for the photo caught in the mirror.
Yes, absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow. It's funny you mentioned lightning. It wasn't my group. It was someone else's group that went to the USS Hornet here in California in Oakland Harbor,
Mm.
and they were having a hell of a lightning storm. Actually, I checked that. It wasn't a ghost group. It was one of the docents there who relayed this story because I told them what I did. And so I was just reading Hayden's thing. I was just, he says, yeah, we had this horrible lightning storm a year or two ago, and we had to close everything down early, and it was flashing like crazy everywhere.
Hmm.
And there's a danger of it striking the ship, a big metal boat.
Right.
So we had to clear everyone off, and we get everyone off, and we're doing a final round, and I hit the launch deck, and I said, "Oh, there's a group of people." And I said, "Sir, you gotta get out here." And they were running like this, like trying to get out. They're undercover of some sort, trying to get undercover for themselves. Like they're running like this, and there's like three or four of them running across the way. Sir,
Right.
you gotta get out of here. And they run kind of right past him
Hmm.
and down the thing, and he hears them on the metal staircase and all that fun stuff. So he says, "Anyone else out here?" He calls out, and nothing else is happening. And he says, as soon as he turned around to go back down the stairs, he was right on these people's heels. He didn't really stay that long.
Right.
And when you get to the bottom of the stairs, they were not there.
Oh wow.
And he asked the other docent who was standing at the bottom of those steps, "Did you see the
Hmm.
guys come through? There were four of them." He says, "No, no." I said, "Did
Oh
you hear him on the
wow.
stairs?" "I thought that was you." And yeah, so it could, and that the Hornet was took a hit during World War II, big bad
Yeah.
one from a Japanese
Yeah. It did.
torpedo,
Yep.
and a few people died, and they think it was the ghost of those guys running for cover because the explosion actually ripped up through the I think it was the ammo casing
Yes, it
or the
was.
ammo
Yep.
storage area, and it blew literally a hole, a vertical hole in the ship. It barely limped home.
That's why here on the East Coast they have the North Carolina, the
Mm.
battleship North Carolina, and they've done a lot of shows, TV shows on North Carolina and on the battleship. And to me, being on a ship, that would be really, really hard to do an investigation on a ship because, like me being in the Navy as I was, there's
Mm.
a lot of noises, creaks and pipes and stuff like that. So it'd be kind of
Yeah,
hard.
yeah, yeah.
And I've known groups of people. I know got people, personally that went to the North Carolina and they
Mm.
came back and said they really didn't get nothing.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Um, that's
But let
very
me ask, let
interesting.
me throw this question at you though. Let me ask
Yeah.
this question at you. Now, places like the North Carolina, like the Hornet, you know, not military, but other places like Eastern Penitentiary.
Mm.
Um, you think them ghosts know what we're doing?
If they're stuck there, I don't think they do. I think they're just like, what the heck is this guy? I'll tell you a very good story, a very, very relatable story. There's a airfield out here called Eagle Field.
Okay.
It's closer to Central California, and it's essentially abandoned, although it's still in use, kind of.
Hmm.
And it sometimes doubles as an air museum, like they'll have air shows there and stuff like that. Well, they're doing a period piece out there, shooting a film. And I wasn't on this film, but I heard about it. And they had guys that were in full Japanese zero pilot regalia, parachutes and everything.
Wow.
And they there was weather that was about to occur, so they said, okay, let's just batten it down, stay in your uniforms. If we have a 2 o'clock call, we'll just come and get you. And one of the guys dressed in the Japanese outfit goes to, there was a couple of hangars we could use. I say we, I didn't mean we, they could use as, temporary billets or bunk down, whatever.
Hmm.
And this one guy chooses this old aircraft hangar where there was a B-52, not B-52, I'm sorry, a B-25 being housed. So he climbs under the wing of he bunks right under the wing of this thing. And around midnight, someone has to go to the bathroom. And he's walking out, and he walks by the opening of this hangar, and there are all these old school airmen, like Army Air Corps, staring down.
Really?
Full regalia. And there was no one there. That was the Japanese days, so there should have been no American airmen there.
Right.
So they were shooting strictly the Japanese side of things for the film. So they have all these semi-translucent American airmen just puzzling over this Japanese pilot sleeping under this plane. And he says, well, no, come on, man, no way. And so he runs back, gets a buddy of his, drags him to the thing, and he sees it too.
Wow.
Now there's verification. And then they said, what do we do? I don't know. I have to go to the bathroom. So he finally comes back, and they're all gone. But it was just such a crazy thing.
Yeah,
and it also
man.
happened during weather, which is interesting. There's lightning and stuff crackling, so maybe there's enough of an energy surge to make that happen.
I believe
Who
that,
knows?
yes, with the lightning, with
Yeah.
that energy that brings out, seriously, brings out more paranormal activity when it's really thunder and lightning out, much
Yep.
because of the energy of it. Heidi said, I would think they do. Some have adopted, manipulated newer tech. Yeah, true, dear. But so,
Oh, you're talking
yes,
about the Black Mirrors?
yeah, I think Heidi was saying something about that. But no,
Okay.
it just, mirrors to me are like the the gateway into the other world, like some type of portal. Do you know
Oh, yeah.
in the olden days, they had people who lived in rooms that had mirrors. They would literally cover them up with blankets and stuff like that. So,
Oh, yeah.
yeah, I mean, I mean, it comes. I just love my mirrors. I do. I really
Yeah,
do.
yeah, yeah. Well, is there a tradition in it was in Judaism where you on when they're sitting Shabbat? I'm sorry, I'm not
So,
Jewish.
but,
I don't know the words.
mhm.
Yes, they cover the mirrors for that very
Yes,
reason, as it turns out,
yes, yes,
so the
absolutely.
spirits don't come back. Yeah.
Hmm. Maybe it was Sabbat I was talking about, or whatever that thing is, where they cover the mirrors up.
Mm.
Maybe it's something to do with the Jewish religion. Yes.
But it was, yeah, that's fascinating that it goes back that far. I mean,
Hmm.
that's just incredible to me. That's just
Right.
totally incredible to me. But there was Yeah, wakes and funerals. Yeah, exactly. They call it sitting. Well, you just said it. What is it, Sean? Horrible. This.
Well,
What's
it's
that called? Sitting Shabbat? Shabbat?
Shabbat,
Shabbat. Okay.
Shabbat.
Okay.
Yeah.
So sitting Shabbat when they cover the mirrors. They know
Hmm.
something's going on. And
Yes, I
I don't
do.
think they're the only religion to do that. I think some of the more Orthodox Catholic religions do it. I think there's a tradition of doing it in Islam, yeah, or in yeah, we'll say
Hmm.
Islam. But it's not that much. It's not practiced that much. Only in really like Orthodox houses.
Right.
So it's
Hmm.
intriguing. It's still an intriguing practice. And
Right.
I think the Buddhists do something similar with mirrors. Like they have to but they treat it like a defense beam or something, and they angle the mirrors out away from all the
Oh
activity
wow, that's
inside
crazy.
the temple or church.
That's crazy.
So yeah, mirrors. That's are they the gateway? Perhaps they are. You know, I'd be interested to know what started that tradition though. That mirrors somehow became like this doorway versus simply something that reflected your image. Because
Well, right. I believe because when I started paranormal investigating back in 2006, okay, mirrors weren't really doing investigation. Mirrors weren't really thought of, if you know what I mean. Okay, they weren't. I mean, they were doing it, but it really never produced a lot of people just focusing on mirrors. Okay, but
mhm,
when I started in 2006, like 2007, 2008, I was taking pictures of mirrors and I kept it going. Now a lot of people shoot at mirrors, you know, and it's something. Heidi says, I heard about covering the mirrors so spirits won't get lost. Huh, I didn't know that. That's a good, you know, that's pretty
that I
interesting.
mean that makes sense, but I always
Yes, it
heard it
does.
was a deterrent, so spirits
Yeah.
wouldn't come in.
But Heidi does
That
bring
was
up a
my
good point there.
understanding.
Yeah. But
Mhm.
Heidi does bring up a good point on the mirrors.
She does. She does.
Hmm.
There's a lot of goofy things. I think one of the more, how do I put this, intriguing things. Oh, these souls are trapped on the other side and need to be taken to the light. I follow a woman who talks about this. Oh, Bloody Mary. Yeah. That's interesting, Joe. That's very cool. Huh. Well, I'm gonna put that thing up on the thing here. This is what Joe just said. That these souls are trapped on the other side and need to be taken to the light. And he follows a woman who talks about this.
Okay.
That
Okay. Now, if Joe, if you're listening to this, you know what, dude? Somebody can't just come into a house and send the ghost to the light. Um, they really seriously need to get permission from the spirit to help them cross into the light. You know what I mean? Not just
mhm.
come in and clear out a house thinking that every spirit wants to go to the light. Now, I'm not knocking the girl who you follow, dude. You know, if that's what she does, she does. More power to her. But personally, me, I always ask permission if they want to go to the light, and then I can help them out.
I hear you.
Hmm.
Yeah, my psychic operates in a very similar manner.
Hmm.
I think she basically says, "I'm going to open the door. It's your choice to step through it." That type of thing.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Heidi made an interesting comment about. I'm going to put that up too. That mirror scrying, as in the Bloody Mary legend.
Uh-huh.
Um, that's intriguing though because there are a lot. It's not just Bloody Mary. There's a few of them. A few other such. Yeah, yeah. You see them on other paranormal shows. That there are. things that you do not want to encounter in the mirror. you
No,
know?
no, you're in a portal, Tim. You're
Yeah,
dealing with a portal, and God only knows what's coming out of that portal. Do you
yeah,
know what I mean? It
I
could be
do.
something very, very, very evil or angry, or I
Like,
mean, seriously, man, because you got to realize
yeah,
too that spirits where they're at, they have no time, dude. There's no time out there. You know what I
yeah,
mean? There's no time.
yeah.
But
There's a, yeah. Heidi totally agrees with you.
she
And I
better.
do too,
I'm
actually.
joking. I'm joking. I'm joking. But yeah, they have no time out there. I remember I did a case, um, and it was crazy because this girl was getting ponded. She was getting ponded with. I'm not going to say evil. I really don't believe. I believe in evil, and I usually know when I walk into a house if I'm dealing with an evil demon or whatever you want to call it.
Mhm,
But this lady was just getting pounded and pounded, scratch marks being pushed, the whole 9 yards.
mhm.
And I asked her, I said, and I always ask this question to my clients. It's like, okay, have you ever played with a Ouija board?
Oh,
Right.
dude, don't get me
And
started.
and she said,
Man.
she said, I didn't play that. I played it one time back when I was in my 20s. And she was in her 50s,
Yeah.
right?
Uh,
And I'm saying, okay, um, do you know that spirits are patient? And she's like, what do you mean? I said, they're not going nowhere. They're right, they just wait for the vulnerable time to start raising havoc. Um, and it took 30 years for this spirit just to start causing her a lot of commotion.
wow.
And yeah, and she says, but it was 30 years ago. I said, it don't matter if it was 40 or 50
Mm,
or yesterday. They just have no time. Once you bring somebody in, they're just going to be hanging out until when they finally see the opportunity where they can move in and wreak havoc on a person.
yeah, that's been my experience as well. There have been a number of cases I've had in the past where, oh, I was just playing with the Ouija board. Oh, Jude, really, dude? Oh, come on. Yeah, Ouija boards out. Yeah, lurking, exactly, Heidi. But yeah, Ouija board. No, 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 no. No one understands how powerful those things are. And Mattel made a game out of it. I mean, come
Right.
on. What?
They are
I just.
powerful.
Sorry, I hit the
They
mic.
they no, that's okay. They are powerful, but if you really seriously wanted a Ouija board and work with it, you work with somebody that knows what the hell they're doing. You know
Oh,
what I
God,
mean?
yes.
Who
Yep.
understands the spirit world, who understands angels, who understands spirit guides. But if you just buy one off the shelf and throw it together and start using it, you're in trouble. You're in trouble.
Yeah, you're hosed. Yeah, you're hosed.
Yes, big time.
Yeah,
Heidi
yeah.
says Target and Five Below sell them in the toy section.
In the toy
I
section.
remember, you know
Ridiculous.
what? I remember one time there was like a while back that we really were going to go to Mattel and say, you got to take that off the shelf, dude, because
Yeah, they got
it's
a
not
lot
a
of
good
letters
thing.
about that.
Yeah, but they just won't do it because I think it's because the stories behind the Ouija board, they sell a lot more. But I will tell you this: I have a lot of friends who are in who are Wiccan, okay,
Mm.
and they use the Ouija board, right? In fact, I used to duke it out with my Wiccan friends, my witchy friends, and because I personally do not like using them at all. And they say, well, it's
Yeah,
good for
I'm with
us.
you.
And I'm like, well, I'm not here to judge you dudes, but but I'm just waiting for that phone call from you guys to say, okay, Shawn, we need you. We got to get rid of this one spirit that's in my house. It never happened. It never happened though. But
Of course not. No, of course
um,
not.
but with this particular witchy, um, she kind of had like um, she's very not. When I mean powerful witch, I'm not talking about that somebody's throwing curses and shit on you. You know what I mean?
Right, right,
It's
right.
I mean she's very into her religion, and
Yeah.
that's so I kind of I have there's mutual respect for me and her. Do you know what I mean? I
Yeah, I
respect
do.
her and what because I mean I trust her when it came down to where I had to deal with some kind of evil thing. I'd bring her along with me and we'd take care of the situation. You know.
My
Uh,
psychic is a. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
oh no, nothing. I'm just reading what Joe said.
I was gonna say my psychic is a light practitioner, also
Mm-hmm.
Wiccan, a witch of sorts, and she's fantastic. She really is, and
They are. They're beautiful.
her, yeah, she's a lot of fun. And she's very protective of me and those we bring on, and helps us bubble up, as she calls it, and protect ourselves. And yeah, she's pretty powerful too.
Yeah. I know. I know, man. And I came really close. And close knit. They're like my sisters, a coven of witches, right?
Mm,
Man, don't mess with me because them girls will go
mm-mm.
after you. They go after you, brother. I mean,
Yes,
yeah,
they do. Yes,
I
sir.
remember
Absolutely.
I remember one time we were doing an investigation and somebody started some shit on me, and I'm thinking, okay, because at one time I would take them out by themselves or something like that. Someone caused some
Right.
crap on me, and the witch, I said, dude, you better be quiet. He said, what are you going to make me? I said, no. Do you see those four women right there? They're witches. Not only will they spell the
Yeah.
shit out of you, they'll beat your ass, So, and yeah, that gave him a little boost of an ego there. But
Right
Joe
on, right on.
Fox has a lot of respect for Wiccan. I do too. I
Yeah.
looked at this, especially when I started paranormal investigating. I respect everybody's religion. In fact, we were doing and cleaning a lot of houses out, and there was a lot of different types of religion. Okay. So I personally set out and I studied each different religion at the time this was happening. So I
Yeah.
knew I wouldn't be stepping on toes,
Yeah. You
and
have to. I mean, you have
yeah,
to. If you don't, you're inviting quite a bit of trouble on multiple
right,
levels. I mean, especially with
exactly,
your when you're dealing with all these energies. You know.
right, exactly. And a lot of people think paranormal investigating is just going out shooting pictures and video and trying to capture a ghost. It isn't. I
No.
mean, to be a really, really good, true paranormal investigator, dude, you really have to study. You have to study the different religions. You
My
have to,
first book ever was it's a big thick volume called The Witch Book, and it explores everything, both dark
right,
and light
right,
practices. And it was probably one of the most educational things it's one of the most educational volumes. I can't
right.
talk. It's my favorite book.
That's all you got to
It
say.
taught me a lot.
Yeah, no big words around me. You don't have to do that shit. But no, I see. To me, um, I don't believe that there are dark witches and white witches. Okay.
Mm,
Um, I believe that they all share the same religion of Wiccan. it depends on the individual on how they want to use their gifts. I hate calling it a power because if you say, "Hey, I'm going to use my powers on you," right?
Right. Right.
To me, it's just like saying, "Hey, I'm a psychic," and I'm like, I hate that word psychic. I despise that word psychic. I'd rather use the word empath, or I would rather use the word sensitive
Mm.
because it's. What do you mean by 144 Colorado time, hon? Oh, the fours.
And 44
I wish.
degrees. I mean, it's 67 here.
Um,
Sorry.
no. She's talking about the fours and numerology. But
Oh,
to
okay.
me personally, I believe that the Wiccan is one big religion, and there's no such thing as a white witch. There's like five or six different type of witches out there. Okay,
Mm.
um, but um, I believe it's your choice of the person who wants to do what they want to do.
Yeah, well, I would add that while I think the practices themselves can be relatively neutral, it all depends on the practitioner's intention.
Exactly,
You know,
exactly.
you can get a little dark with some of that stuff if you wanted to,
If you wanted to,
and
but
really
that's
do
the
some
choice.
damage. Yeah,
Hmm.
yeah.
And a lot of people say, "Oh, Sean, someone put a spell on me," and I'm like, you know what? Don't allow it to happen. If you don't allow that spell to happen, then you know what I mean.
Exactly.
Don't let it happen.
Hmm.
And Heidi says intentions are huge.
They are. They're huge, and not just in Wiccan practices. They're huge in a lot of things.
Right.
A lot of things. I mean, you don't have to be a full-on practitioner to be able to influence things just with your intentions.
Right.
Who goes into that? Now that guy. Oh gosh, I'm drawing a blank on his name. Uh, Carson, Billy Carson. He
Mhm.
says that a lot, and he's
Right.
echoing other guys from the past. But he just kind of keeps that up. But it's true. Intentions mean quite a bit. It's all about your mindset.
Right. Hmm. When you say a prayer, you're actually putting that intentions out there.
Yes,
You know what I
exactly
mean?
right. Hmm.
Anything like that,
Yeah.
like going to a psychic, you know, and they're telling you your future.
Yeah.
Um, you're setting out that intention, and I don't know. That's
Yeah.
for another show, dude. That's for another show
It
about that.
probably it probably is.
Yeah.
Heidi had an interesting question, and I need to understand it a little bit more, so I'm going to put it up here. What about those who have similar beliefs but don't do labels? Specifically, I would say if you're not into labels, maybe I don't even know how you would generalize someone with those abilities, sensitives and what have you, spelling or become spells. Oh yeah, that's intriguing.
Oh,
Yeah,
we didn't
intriguing
see
point.
this right here. We didn't
Spelling
see
words.
this one. She wrote, "I used to be a
Oh, okay. I used
very
to be.
mindful of my witchy line, but since I've come out of my witchy closet, still don't do labels and don't follow
Congrats.
any religion." Awesome, girl. Awesome.
No,
I
that's
mean,
fine, man. That's
whatever
absolutely
makes
fine.
you happy. My God, I like you. You know, I don't know. I'm just like witchy people. I like, you know, but Heidi's right, and it's okay to be a
Hmm.
witch, and I stick up for them all the time. I do because they're human beings, and I hate when people, you know, because of TV, because of the movies and all that stuff. You know what I mean?
Right.
It's just ridiculous. I know a lot of which. Oh, oh, you like me too? Good, thanks. I'm glad. Now my heart's fluttering. Oh my God, yes. Thank you, Heidi.
That's
But
awesome.
yes, it is. She's a doll. Um, but you know, there's also and what do they call? Where they practice by themselves. They don't belong to no coven. They don't belong to no religion.
Yeah.
What's that called, Heidi? Whenever
Yeah. But just solo work,
where
right?
you just practice yourself. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Where you don't belong to a coven, something like that. Um, I forget. Maybe she'll
Um,
come up with the word. But I know
yeah.
a lot of them like that. You know, but they're good people, man. They're loving people, and I'll stick up for the witches forever. Oh, you're not.
You're a solo practitioner. Got it.
Yes, solo practitioner.
We'll call it the Heidi.
Yeah, there you go. We got a new one for you. But yeah, I stick up for my witchy friends.
As do I. I mean, yeah. I can't think of the word either, but there is a word for it. But no, no. I mean, my I know you hate the word. My psychic. She's
I
a
decide that.
practitioner. I stick up for her all the time, and she sticks up for others like her because she runs in a circle. She doesn't have a coven specifically, but she
Right.
they have they call it a women's group, but
Why
they
not?
all get together and practice that everything.
Yeah, and that's cool. I
That's fun.
mean, yeah. I every year I go to the witchy ball, November 3rd or
What's the
5th.
witchy
I
ball?
think. Yeah, it's like the start of their winter solstice. Yeah, and
Oh, fun.
over here in Pittsburg, they have the witches' ball, and it's one big dance with a lot of witches, and they're like really, really cool people. They really are,
Oh,
you know.
right on. Well, that sounds like a
Hmm.
lot of fun.
Oh, they are. They are a lot of fun. They are a lot of fun.
Yeah, JJ's a lot of fun too. She's a hoot. She's just an absolute blast to be around.
Hmm.
Uh, that's my partner in the paranormal game. But when well, was it? Isn't it funny that now they come to people like us when in the past they actually went to witches to solve their paranormal issues way back when? Isn't
Right.
that intriguing?
It is. It is intriguing. What's Heidi say? We have a paddle boat witchy thingy in Denver. Oh, really? Never been there
Oh,
though. Huh. Uh,
huh.
I like
That sounds fun.
she agrees with me by saying witchy thingy. That's cool. That's cool because you
I
know
like it.
I have a lot of good friends who are witches, and I feel safe around them. I'll just put it down, just come out and
Yeah,
say it. Hmm.
I hear you. No, I'm in a similar boat. Yeah, it's good times. Usually very good times, actually. It's always a party. It's fantastic. You want some food? You want some drink? Let's talk about
Oh
this, that, and
yeah,
the other thing.
oh yeah,
It's one of the
and
few
that's
groups that can
actually.
actually speak with
Hmm.
about all this paranormal stuff in a live setting because a lot of my
Right,
friends don't cotton to what I follow. So,
right. No, and that's that's okay. I remember back in 2006 when paranormal investigating was in its infancy.
yeah.
Okay, I think TAPS was only on for 1 year. Before
Mm.
the year later we started. I started in 2006. Man, oh my God, I was an outcast. People thought I was weird. People thought I was not deranged, but they just kind of stayed away from me, all laughing at me and
Hmm.
stuff like that. And I'm
Damn.
just saying to myself, well, this is what I believe in. This is what I like to do. I like to go out and see
Hmm.
what's out there. And and I kept on with it. I kept on with it. And now it's like, oh my gosh, Sean's a paranormal investigator. Let's talk to him. And that's okay. I like to share
Yeah,
my
that's
experiences and my knowledge with people, you know. And what's really
yeah.
crazy
Well,
is, and I asked you this question the other night, um, paranormal unity. And
oh
even
yeah.
to this day, there isn't too much paranormal unity at all. There's still a lot of groups wanting that best evidence. I got some evidence right now, and I'll send them to you later, that
Okay.
will that would outdo everything that people have caught. But I mean, it's good. And I don't, I did in the beginning sharing everything that I got, and I just got ridiculed. You know what I mean? For even
Oh,
attempting to put it up
yes.
on the internet. And
Yes.
so
Happened to me too.
I said, okay, assholes. Um, then I won't show you what I got up. What you see on my
Exactly.
Shawn Kelly Pittsburg Paranormal stuff, and on the Pittsburgh Paranormal page, the pictures of ghosts that you see on there are legit ones. But I always came back and I would ask them, I'm like, you know what? Were you there when we took this picture?
Yeah.
So how can you judge me? You cannot judge me. I am
I
not
get
looking
asked.
for, yeah, I'm not looking for no fame and fortune, and
Sure.
I'm not boosting my ego here at all when I tell you this, but I'm very well known in the paranormal field. And I'm not just
Yeah.
talking in Pennsylvania, I'm talking up and down the East Coast, halfway in the middle. And in the middle of like in the middle part of the states. And I don't need it. You know what I mean? I don't need
Yeah.
all
I
that.
hear you.
Oh, Heidi says amazing pictures, captures. Yeah, she's
I
seen them.
gotta take a closer look. When you sent me your
Hmm.
headshot for the thing, I briefly looked at it and was like, oh, that's perfect.
Right.
Then we
I'll
went from
send them
there.
to you.
So I have
I'll
to go
send
back
them
and
to you.
look at it.
Yeah.
Okay, great.
But
When people ask me if I believe in all this stuff, I said, no, I've seen
mhm,
it. I don't have to believe it necessarily.
right.
I've seen it for myself. I know it's there. I've taken pictures of it, video, and they, they shut up. It's great.
Yeah, they do.
It's like, no.
But you know
Yeah.
what's crazy? Here's what's crazy, Tim. You can have the best apparition
Hmm.
video or picture one, and still clear as day, it's a
Yeah.
spirit. But you're going to always find that one or two people that's going to say that's nothing. You talk to a
That's true.
parapsychologist, you talk to a parapsychologist, right? And
Yeah.
you get a picture that they're I don't know that's for another story. But me and the parapsychologists don't get along. Not a lot of us do get along, because they believe that whenever you take a picture, um, and you get some type of apparition on it, they believe it's all in your mind. Your mind
Oh,
created
sure.
that. Yeah.
You have
And
the
I'm
most
like,
powerful mind in the world, then, Sean. I mean, you're
I
imprinting this
know,
on the
damn.
film for crying out loud. I mean, come
Right.
on. It's ridiculous.
Seriously.
That's
Seriously.
ridiculous.
But I will
Yeah, so
never, ever.
parapsychologists take their job a little too serious, and they lean more into the psychological aspect of their training
Right.
versus because that's all they're doing. They're applying psychology to dead people
Right.
and trying to
But,
make their motives and all that fun stuff, interact, and it doesn't always work.
but
In
you have
fact,
to
it rarely
respect
works.
them. You got to respect that field. You got to respect paranormal investigating, Bigfoot hunters, um,
Oh, sure. Well, I do.
UFO,
I'm one of them. I mean,
aliens. You have to give them respect on what they do. Maybe some stuff that they do is like way beyond the horizon for my kind of taste. But you know, but if there's something I have a question about that somebody puts up on one of my shows, say like a Bigfoot picture or whatever, I'll say,
yeah,
okay, I'll let them talk, let them do their story, the whole nine yards. But after the show, I will go to a lot of my Bigfoot experts, okay, and I
yeah.
would actually say, what do we got here? You know,
Right. And
but
there's some
no,
analysis you can even do on your own if you looked into the
right,
subject enough. I mean, some stuff you go, that's generated, that's AI, that's something like that. And I mean, I'm in the film business. That's my mainstay, making
Right.
films. And so creating something from nothing is kind of what I do. And so when I see
Amy.
some of these
Oh, okay.
things, I go,
Right. Right.
yeah,
Amy Allen. She's a psychic, Heidi. She's no parapsychologist. Not that I know.
right,
I never heard her being one. Okay. Do I like Amy
yeah,
Allen? Yeah, she hits it right on the money. But when it comes down to the shows and stuff like that, uh, AI is easily accessible too. Yes,
oh,
absolutely.
absolutely,
That's
absolutely,
what makes life really
absolutely,
hard in the paranormal field now because a lot
yeah.
of people will just come out and say that's AI, you know.
This is
So,
true. This is true. This
I
is true.
mean, it like,
You know what?
what's that? Go ahead, tell me.
I was gonna say, hold that thought, because I'm gonna take a station identification break right now.
All right, buddy.
Um,
Sounds good.
All right, dude. So we'll be back in 80 seconds. See you in just a few. This is the United Public Radio Network, It'll start at any
107.7
moment now.
FM in New Orleans and 105.3 in the Gulf Coast. UPRN talkradio.com. Esoteric programming at its finest.
Our symbol, the trident, gifted to us by the priests of Troy Xenos centuries ago when one of the first monster hunting teams out of Corinth battled a contingent of Vrykolakas that had infested their temple. After the victory over the monsters, the head priest declared, "You are three lances acting as one, not unlike Poseidon's mighty trident of light. That would become our name, the Trident of Light, for the good we did and still do against the dark evils of this world."
Available at Amazon Books.
Follow us on Instagram at paranormal.insight. Stay informed on upcoming shows, ask questions, and see what chilling paranormal stories we're following. Don't forget to follow us on YouTube at paranormal_insight. Click the live tab to see our latest videos. And we are back. For those who don't know, the whole TOL thing, Tried to Light thing, that's me. That's my book.
Oh, is that your book?
Self-advertisement
Okay,
there.
I was wondering
Yeah.
because I'm not really big into tridents or stuff like that, serpents, but it seems interesting. Amy, Heidi, I do like Amy too. I didn't know she was from Aurora, but no, my ADHD, I'd probably read the first 10 pages, go into the middle, read 5, and then hit the ending. That's who
Just
I
flip to
am.
the end of the book. Okay, there we go.
No, my mom's funny. My mom's funny. She'll get a book, right? And she'll read the ending first. And then she'll start at the beginning.
Doesn't like
Yep.
surprises. Okay,
Nah,
got it.
but yeah, so go ahead. More questions?
Did we have more questions? What's
Oh, I don't know.
WB?
Welcome back.
Oh, welcome back. There you go. There you go.
Oh, Heidi says, Sam Shawn. Ha ha ha.
Read the end of the book first. That's okay.
Oh, she does the same
Some
too.
people-
So there you go. Yeah.
Totally. Speaking of books, just I know it's not paranormal related, but I was going through my granddad's library. This is a while back, but it always, whenever I think about books, this is always what comes to mind. Going through my granddad's library, and he had a copy of The Maltese Falcon, the book from Dashiell Hammett. And so I
Oh,
start
wow.
reading it, and I get into it. I'm reading it over, and I'm going, oh my God, it's a direct lift from the book. I mean, there's like one or two small little things that aren't in the movie, but if you watch the movie, you've read the book. It's
Really?
amazing.
Oh, wow. Wow, that's cool.
It's one of the few instances out there where it's a direct lift.
Hmm.
Yeah, I also have ADHD, so I know exactly what you guys are talking about. It's good times. That's why I went to that little bookstore.
Yeah.
Fun disorders of the mind. The what was it? Oh, see, well, there it goes. ADHD again. Had a great idea. Had a great question.
Yep.
Oh, okay. So to echo a question you asked me, I never really finished my answer, but what was the case that you had that stands out the most?
Oh, cool. Yeah, we were at a residence house um, in East McKeesport, which isn't a friendly neighborhood or a bunch of row one. It was in a row house. And so we're down at the cellar. The house was really, really haunted. And so we're down in the cellar. My brother was there. We had this little, I don't know if she was Chinese or Filipino. I don't know. No. But she was like 89 pounds soaking wet. Okay. She literally, God is my witness, literally got picked up and thrown and landed in my brother's arms. Seriously, she did.
Wow.
Yeah, that, and what's crazy about the same place, right? So we were all in the living room at the end, sharing what we had, and my brother decided to go down into the cellar to get all the equipment that we had down in there. And so as he was coming up the equipment, there was a screw about that big right in the middle of the step. And if he would have stepped on it, it would have gone through his foot. Yes.
Wow. And it wasn't there before, I take it.
Nope. No.
Yeah.
I've had so many experience. To me, that's like one of the best ones I ever had. That the one I told you about Leechburg, that was pretty insane.
Oh yeah.
I've had many. Gotcha. But those two are the ones that stand out the most.
Gotcha. Yeah, I didn't get a chance to finish the one about the Satanist girl.
Well, go ahead.
A victim of a Satanist cult, but okay, if you insist. Since I got it in my head, we got the call, and it's like I discussed this before, where you walk into a space and you hit that wall, man. That wall of weird. It's stuffy. It's weird. It's gross. It's stifling. Typically,
Right.
and this place was no different. They had their AC cranked up to the max, and my buddy Henry, the scientist, the empirical evidence guy, he says, "Why isn't it working? Is it blocked? Is it And never mind, we're there because they're seeing shadow creatures and experiencing all kinds of weird activity. So he puts his hand in front of the vent, and it's blowing cold. But as he pulled his hand away, it was warm. Right. So the cold just wouldn't penetrate this weird field of dense, crappy, swampy Florida on its worst day. Let me tell you that. I'll say that. Florida on its worst day.
Right.
And so we sit this person down, and she's there with her roommates. One of the said roommates is her boyfriend. And that'll come into play in a little bit. And we start doing our prelim, our sweep, and we're taking pictures and we're taking video, and we're basically getting the tour of the weird activity. So we do that, we get our baseline, and we get back to, we set up on their kitchen table most of the equipment. That was the most neutral, out of the way space we could do it. And I set the camera down, I power it off, I power off the other two little cameras we had, and when I get back, what's that? Remove the space. I don't get it. Someone just came in on the chat. It's weird. Anyway, when we're going to do our investigation, have them kind of sit out of the way, so we can do an EVP session. We power everything up, battery drain, everything's dead. Even the backups are dead. And it was like 20 minutes of us trying to troubleshoot this, and we're, I was like, come on, we can't proceed. Well, we have our at the time, new psychic JJ out in the car. That was under her instruction, by the way. It was very smart of her, just to keep her out of the field of all the activity. Never mind, she was kind of tracking us anyway mentally, I'd later learn. And I call her and I said, okay, you're up. Come on in. And she has the same experience. She hits the wall. She's like, oh, something is not right here. As soon as she crosses the threshold of the apartment. And she does her own walkthrough. And she says, why don't you sit out here with them? And I know you wanted to conduct an interview after the fact, but I say you do it now because I'm going to be a while. Okay. So we plug in our cameras into the wall. It's the only way we can get power to these things at this point. And we conduct the interview. We learn about the whole satanic activity thing, how she was saved at the last minute, like the knife is over her on the sacrificial altar, and the sheriffs kick the door in. So right out of a movie. And save her. And she moves on, but she brought something with her, apparently. And as she wraps this story up, JJ comes out of the room and pretty much gathers Henry and I and marches us out. They were on the third floor of this apartment complex that specialty college was using as dorms. So we go out on the balcony, we close the door, and she says, these people are way, like, there's something here for sure, and it's a bad thing. And up to this point, we hadn't really seen... I checked that. We had seen some stuff. There was this water bottle that was wobbling just more and more violently. And finally, boom, shoots across the kitchen. And then the cabinet doors open and close at one point. I have no cameras to record any of this, of course, because of the power drain. But she says, I picked up on some of the activity. I know where this thing's kind of living right now, as far as occupying this space. And I know why they're seeing most of this stuff happen in the bathroom and in the kitchen. And I say, okay, so what can you do to help us? Now, she claimed to be a cleaner, right? And I said, okay, what can you do to help us? She says, I can get rid of it for a while. I said, no, it's the first night with us. I said, what do you mean for a while? And she says, well, I can also get rid of it permanently. I said, okay, so you can nuke it. She says, yeah. I said, that's your job then. You're going to nuke it. I don't want to ever come back here again. So she says, whew, okay. We all walk in together. She walks into the main bedroom where all this activity is happening that connected to the bathroom. And on the back wall of that bathroom was the kitchen, or kitchenette, or whatever it is you want to call it.
Right.
And we're all sitting there. We're having a little chat, and we're kind of half explaining what she's doing because I wasn't completely clear on it. She said, well, she's going to communicate and get rid of it, or at least try to. And, no guarantees, but we're going to try and fix things for you if we can. And then we all feel, and Shawn, you've probably been there yourself with this type of thing. We all feel what I can only describe as a concussion wave. Boom! But with no sound. No sound. So if you've ever, for those of you out there who have never experienced what a concussion wave feels like, if you've ever been to a reenactment where they're using cannons and they fire the cannons off and you feel it in your chest, that's exactly what we felt. Except no sound. And boom, we all feel it. We think it's an earthquake at first, but everyone felt it. And we all felt, it's like, it had a direction to it, right? We're all talking about it. Yeah, it kind of came from JJ's area where she was. And suddenly we can feel the AC. It's like, oh my goodness. Do you feel, and now my buddy Henry, the skeptic, he says, I felt that. I know what, I'm very clear about where that came from, that it
Hmm.
came from her, or her direction at least. And I know what an earthquake feels like. And that was no earthquake. And everything's suddenly clearing up, and the place actually feels better. His words. And
Right.
he says to me, he leans in, he says, "She's the one." And we brought her into the group that night. But it
That's
was
cool.
good. That was probably the freakiest thing we've ever dealt with, only because of the whole Satanist connection.
Right.
But JJ stepped in and saved us, man. Saved them too. And we called them 2 weeks later, and we're going to see how they're doing. It's great. Everyone's in really good spirits, man. It's fantastic. I aced all my tests and yada, yada, yada. Thank you so much. And I say, you're entirely welcome. Call me if anything goes awry. I hope it doesn't, but,
Right.
or don't call me at all. You know? And I have
When you
never heard from
don't
them
when you
since.
don't
So
get the call back, that's good news. You know
it's
what I
always
mean?
good.
Yeah, when you don't get the
Yeah.
call back. I remember not a lot of times, like a handful of times where other groups went into um, a private residence's place, and it just made it worse.
Oh, yeah.
And
Yeah.
yeah, they made it worse. And then we were called in and we took care of the situation.
Right
Um,
on.
it was crazy. It was crazy. But I'll tell you this one story we had. So I get an email from this lady, and she says, "Please call me, please call me." And so I called her because I got that vibe from the email saying this lady needs help, right? And so I'm talking to her on the phone, and I said, "Well, what's going on?" She told me the story to where her daughter was like 3 years old, and she was downstairs. The mom was downstairs in the kitchen, and then she realized she hasn't heard her little girl, right?
Mm-hmm.
So she goes upstairs, opens the door to her daughter's room, and she's sitting on the floor talking to somebody.
Oh,
And
no.
granted, this is only 3 years old.
Yeah.
And she turns around and says, "Hi, Mommy. I want you to meet my new friend." Oh, I wish I remember it. John was his name. John.
Okay.
Johnny. He goes, "I want you to meet my new friend, Johnny." And Johnny wasn't there. And our mother just like freaked out. She said, "Can you come over and help us?" Long story short, we did. We did an investigation. Come to find out that there was like 10 or 11 other ghosts in that place. And
Really?
yeah, and a lot of them were women and children. But there was one ghost in there. He was a male ghost, and he was a bad ghost. He wasn't he didn't treat none of them ghosts good. You know what I mean? Because even in
Okay.
death, you got to realize, my energy's still there. So how I was as a person before I died, I'm going to be that exact same person when I do die.
Yep.
You know,
Yep.
and he had
That's
control
true.
over the spirits that were in the house. They were afraid of him.
Wow.
Okay,
Wow.
and so we kind of duked it out, him and I, and then she called me back a week later, said stuff's still happening, and I went back
Mm.
over and then really went in, and we didn't investigate. I just went into my meditation, finally got rid of it, and that
Oh,
was back
excellent.
in 2009. And I got an email from her maybe 4 years ago. They eventually moved out east, and she says, I don't know if you remember me, but my daughter's the one who had the imaginary friend. And she says, I cannot thank you. I cannot thank you enough for what you did for my family, because after that second time we were there and that dude I took care of that dude. Then nothing happened after that. Their whole
Wow.
Everything was great, you know. But I also got to realize
That's
too,
great.
yeah, man, that email just made my day. But you know what's crazy? You know, I do go in and I do clean houses. I do fight demonic entities. I do fight with really nasty spirits. And when I say that, it's not me who's doing it. It's actually, I'll say God, because I believe in God.
Mm.
He's working inside me. I'm just a vessel. Do you see what I'm getting at? I'm a
Yeah, I
vessel.
do.
And so he does all the hard work, him and his angels. He just uses me as a vessel. You know what I mean? And
Is this a method where you call down God and the angels to assist in that situation?
well, what I do is I go into my meditation state, and I have my wolf with me, my spirit totem wolf. His name is Lakota. He's big, he's bad, he's ugly, and he kicks ass. Whoever tries to attack me, they get ripped apart to shreds. So I have a story for that. If we get to that, I'll be happy to tell you that.
Yeah, please do.
And so what I'll do is I'll go under meditation. He'll be there waiting for me, and then I'm there and I'm looking, but I send him out to sniff it out.
Oh.
You know what I mean?
Gotcha.
And eventually,
Yeah.
you know, we sniff it out. And what I do is I just go up to the dude and I just start duking it out. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Not
like on a
fist
spiritual
fighting,
level,
but
right?
spiritual, mental wise, yeah. And eventually there was a couple times, and these are all true stories. There's a couple times that I had to call my guardian angel. That's Uriel. He's an archangel. And Uriel came down and they would help out too. And then after the spirit is gone into the light or wherever the angels take them, I don't know where they take them, then I'll call my other angels to come down and go through the house, sweep out the house, and see if there's anything else going on there. And then they go. But
Gotcha.
I will tell you this. I tell you this one time I was in this true story.
Okay.
I was doing a clearing in this one apartment, and the damn thing was hanging out in the bathroom. It hanged out in the bathroom all the time. And I mean, this guy was bad. I mean, he was a wannabe demon. He was an evil spirit. He was an evil ghost that wanted to be a demon. And as God is my witness, it was crazy. We're under there. He had hellhounds, right? He had 3 or 4 of them with him. Okay.
Really?
And yeah, then I called in Lakota and my wolf pack, and his boys came in. And I mean, it was a downright dog eat dog fight, you know, between me and him. And plus with the wolves and hellhounds. And then all of a sudden, the hellhounds left. And so where the evil spirit was at, or demonic, whatever you want to call it, was sitting there like this. We're facing each other. As God is my witness, Tim, there was a big opening that opened up, a circle opened up right next to that dude. And this big figure came out, all dressed in black, snatched that boy by the head and pulled him in, pulled him through that hole, and the hole covered up. God.
Okay.
Yeah, and they never had a problem with that at all. Yes.
That's outstanding.
Heidi said I saw Lakota at the same time he did. Cool. He's pretty cool. He's big, bad, and kicks ass. I absolutely know without a doubt I am loved, I am light, I am loved, I am protected, I am connected. You are, dear. I'll repeat that. I've told my kids to have no doubt within your whole being that light will always win over dark, but balance is needed.
Very true.
Wow, that just gave me like goosebumps, Heidi. Thank you for
Yeah,
sharing that. Thank you
that's
for
awesome.
sharing that. Hmm.
I'm gonna put that up on our feed real quick.
Yeah,
There we go. Oh, sorry, I'm gonna read that.
but
That's very
I
nice. Thank you,
really
Heidi.
did my research. When it comes to the clearing, you know, it all started out for me as being a paranormal investigator and doing investigations. But as time
Mm,
moved on, okay, um, we started to do more private residences. Okay.
okay.
And me and my group would clear spirits out of the house. Um, and that's all it became, you know, was us clearing spirits out,
Hmm.
and I was wondering why is this all happening? So one day again, I
Yeah.
went in my meditation. I sat down with spirit, and I said, like, what the hell's going on here? Why, why am I be able to do this kind of stuff, man?
Yeah.
And and when I tell you this, I tell you from my heart, and it's not egotistical, but I trust people, and I trust you guys. Um, and he said, "You were chosen." I said, "What?" He said, "Yeah, you were chosen." I was chosen for
Oh,
what?
yeah.
To do spirit work by helping people, and that
Oh,
was it, helping people and clearing houses and just helping people. You were chosen.
wow.
And what was really crazy, I had like about six different teachers, right, who are living. I had a
Oh, okay.
person that taught me about angels and demons. And after a year, there was a woman that came in and who taught me about jinn, ghosts, about, jinns.
Yeah,
She
sure. I
also
know,
taught
Jen.
me about Greek mythology, and then I had another
Okay.
one that came in and expanded my angel demon theory from the first one. So I'm thinking, oh my God, for the last 5 years, there has always been somebody in my life that is teaching me these different things. And I just come to find out that, that's my call, and at first, I wasn't okay with it because I wanted to be a human being. I really did.
Yeah.
It just wouldn't happen. No, my path was to go help people, and that's when I started practicing meditation. After that, and my first spiritual person was his name was Black Elk. He was a Lakota Sioux shaman, and I
Wow.
was in a bookstore. Okay, well, he's dead. But I was in a bookstore and I was just looking at books, and when they say something jumps out at you, this book
Yeah.
actually jumped into my hands, and that's 100% fact. I'm like,
Wow.
okay, I guess I'm supposed to have this. And so I started to study the Lakota Sioux spirituality, their spiritual meanings and stuff like that. And it
Yeah.
just took off from there. I had someone who taught me how to meditate. I had someone who taught me about spirit guides, and finally, after a very long time, I finally realized that's what they meant when I was chosen, that I'm on this path. And there's no way getting out of it. It's just right there, you know.
And why would you?
And that's
Uh,
and that's my story. It
that's a
takes
good
a
story.
toll. It
That's
takes a
excellent.
toll. It takes a toll on me after a while, man. I don't know about
I
you, but
bet.
I get really hungry after an investigation. Do you guys?
Yeah. Every time we do one or did one, even in the past, we cruise over to something like Denny's or something like that. Free play Denny's. Um, and yeah, we just talk about the whole thing and nosh, and yeah, it was good times.
Oh, there was no
But yeah,
talking,
you
dude.
always there's a lot
It
of
was
energy being
eating.
burned. I mean, even if you're just sitting there,
Yeah,
you know.
yes. Um, but my thing was, if it was a good investigation, then I would order my chocolate chip pancakes. Yes, that was to go. That was my award for that night. I'd get 2 chocolate chip pancakes, and then I would
Nice.
devour the breakfast bar afterwards. Oh yeah, I used to get so
That's
damn hungry. Honest to God.
uh,
What did she
that's
say? No
yeah.
coincidence or cronkiny dicks. Everything
Coinky
else for a
dinks.
reason. Love that, Sean. Thank you, dear. Love you.
Yeah, that's
Love that.
fantastic.
But no, yeah. And then I would, you're so tired during that investigation, and you're like, but I'm hungry. I got to go eat. And after you eat, you're wide awake and you can't go to sleep. And I'm like, that's just.
A funny One of the funny post rituals we got into, especially after JJ came on board, was taking it's a simple little poultice. It's salt and olive oil, and
Mhm.
we kind of rub it on our feet, especially, and then kind of rub it all over ourselves in the shower. And we have to take a shower that night,
Oh,
which is
okay.
great. But
Right. Well, yeah.
yeah, it was interesting, and it made things feel a lot better because I don't know about Henry so much because he talked about all kinds of things, but he didn't talk about personal stuff. Um,
Right.
and he never relayed anything to me about bringing anything home. I think I brought something home once, maybe twice. I think maybe I told you about it. But it was, you know, once I started using that practice with the olive
Hmm.
oil and the salt, those problems went away. I sleep with salt under my bed on JJ's recommendation to this day.
Yeah. Yep.
Um,
I recommend
yeah,
salt to anybody. Sea salt. I mean,
yeah,
um,
sea salt.
when somebody investigates or someone's having spirit problems, I tell them get a little vial of salt and just keep it on your person.
Yeah,
They can't touch you. They cannot touch you.
our ancients knew that, man, and it still works to this day.
It sure does.
It's
When it
incredible.
comes to saging or the holy water deal,
Mhm.
or the holy oil deal, um, the saging and the holy oils, they do work. They really do work. But eventually, all that energy from the sage, from the oils, from the holy water, wear down, wear off.
Yeah,
And the spirit usually comes back with a vengeance. And I've seen that happen
I had
before.
that happen to a client of mine.
Yeah.
He
Um,
he had a yeah, it was bad. Well, her they somehow, I don't know how, but either the little girl or that they had or the wife, they're from like I want to say Yugoslavia, but I can't be certain. He was a army vet, and he brought his wife and daughter with him, back with him. And one or both of them brought something way dark, super dark, a big menacing, shadowy creature that had some demonic aspects to it. And when they first came back home, he's just fresh out of the army, so he didn't have too much in the way of money. So he's living in his mom's place temporarily,
mhm.
and he has they have this experience where all of them see the shadowy creature, and especially the daughter, because young kids, you know what it is with young kids, they see all this stuff, and she's afraid to go to sleep. She has to sleep with them, and so the mother, I'm sorry, grandma to the little girl, the one who owns the house, says, "Well, I'm calling in a priest." So she gets a priest to come over, bless the house. My my instinct is that the priest went through the motions without committing to any intention. Yeah,
Exactly.
I think that's
Mhm.
exactly what it. And it worked temporarily, like you said, but it did come back with a vengeance, and everything spiked big time. Like
Right.
20 minutes before I got there, this coffee cup flew off the sink and shattered on the kitchen floor.
Right.
And I would say it was because she was washing dishes at the time, the wife was, and I'm thinking, oh, it's hot water got trapped, and that's what screwed it. No, hot water would not fling this thing across the kitchen.
Right.
So, and it got bad, and they said, well, I want you to get rid of it. This is before I had JJ. And I said, I don't do that. I can call a couple of people and see if they can do it, but I don't have that ability or training.
Mm-hmm.
Can you try? And it's like, you don't just try something like that, man. You need some training, and I don't have it. So I can't do that for you now, but we can come back and document some stuff, and I can, in the meantime, see if I can find someone for you. He was having none of it. He says, nope, get out of my house.
Right.
He wanted instantaneous solutions.
Right.
And I did not have them.
Did you ever go back?
Yeah. No, I tried to because JJ ended up on my team like a week later.
Right.
And
maybe
he was having none of it. He totally ghosted me, no pun intended. He just would not talk to me ever.
Right.
So I don't know.
Heidi said, I make my own salt, herb, flour mixture and set in bowls all over my house. Also quartz too, and Colorado is abundant in quartz. Yes, it is. Also gold, sure Heidi. Also gold. That's my thing I do. I go gold prospecting.
Oh, cool. Send me an ounce. I'm just kidding.
And she goes, there's one of my witchiness coming out. It's okay. Bring out all the witchiness. It don't bother me.
I like it.
It don't bother me. And still have the little vials of sea salt I made that you suggested. That's cool.
Yeah, it's good to have.
Then she says, what else would you suggest to cleanse with besides sage or Palo Santo or whatever? I've been using Palo, but it seems not to be working. Honestly, hon, the
Palo Santo's
do you know what? You know what really, really works? When you sage, it's nice to bring the animals into your cleansing. Okay, I do a lot. I'm really big in the animal. Do you have a turkey feather, Heidi? Or do you have a hawk feather? Whenever you sage, you use the turkey, use the hawk feathers to help you. But again, eventually it's going to wear out and it's going to come back again. Have somebody come in and completely clear your house out, and then have them come in and put the bright light, the magical, the golden ropes around your house. And that might help you out, but eventually they're just going to be coming in. And that's one thing I used to tell people. I said, I can come in and I can clear this house up for you. That's not a problem. You're not the problem. Don't ever say that. I'll come out to Colorado and whip your butt. Nah. Don't ever say you're the problem, honey. Oh, no. No, not in my eyes. But I usually tell people, I say, when I go out and I clear the spirit, I said, I'll clear your house. That's not a problem. But eventually, they're going to come back. They're going to come back. If it's not that spirit, it's going to have another spirit come in and take its place. Now, it might not have to be a bad spirit, but, just clearing that just does not clear everything out. You know what I mean? Eventually, stuff does come back in again. What did she say? I quit saving feathers when I bugs. Yeah. Ooh. You better be kidding, girl. Or I'll be on the first plane out to Colorado. Okay. I'll be out on the first plane to Colorado. Don't ever say that. But I don't know.
Yeah, bugs is a bad sign, kids. Just so y'all know.
Yes. Yes, it is.
Yeah. I was when we were in a interview mode, because our young junior psychics left, they had their issues, and then we were still looking, it was before JJ came on the team. Henry and I saw like 5 or 6 psychics that we got interviews with, and every single time, especially at this one place, I would always see black animals that are not native to my area of the woods. Black mice, black squirrels, and black cats, but that's kind of a misnomer. But I mean, all these odd little black animals would be running around these people's, houses, outside mostly. And I found that, and lots of crows, which was kind of interesting.
The crow's my animal, buddy. Dude.
No, hey, I'm not. I was just going to say, JJ is a big crow person. She loves crows. Yeah. And it's. I'm not saying it's bad, but it was interesting that every time I saw this, like, in fact, this one woman's backyard was just. She had like a few crystal formations she put together, like crystal prayer wheels, I guess.
Yeah.
But there was something off about this lady, man. I can't even put my finger on it. But Henry doesn't have that instinct typically. But even he said, "Yeah, there's something off about this lady."
Right.
And with all the weird little black animals, wild animals running around, her place only. And in my area of California, we do not have these animals. They're not native here. So it was bizarre. But
yeah, I would think so.
Yeah. So I totally lost my train of thought on that too.
That's okay.
Animals in the paranormal. It was it was an interesting sign. Like I was like, I kept seeing these different signs around these different psychics, and it was just bizarre, because I didn't get any of that with JJ at all.
Mm-hmm.
So
I like what Heidi said. What's IKR? I don't know. Shawn, I had them in the old wallet outside, so it wasn't bugs inside. I have a black squirrel. She has a black squirrel friend. And the ravens are my new best friends forever. Yes. Yes.
Ravens are cool. I dig ravens. They're awesome.
I do too, man. I do too. Ravens are the best animal ever. I mean, you can go on.
Super smart too. Very smart animals.
No, not at all.
No,
in fact, there's 3 of them at my work. There's 3 of them that wait for me in the parking lot every morning. And they call at me, and there
do you play with them at all?
I just wish them good morning, and I said, hope you have a good day.
Oh, good for you. That's nice.
Yeah, you can talk to them. They'll listen.
They're surprisingly interactive. Yeah, they're fantastic creatures. But it was it was so strange.
Oh, okay.
All these different psychics had different.
I'm glad Heidi said that. IKR, I know right.
I know, right?
Like IKR. That's cool. All right, that's awesome.
That's awesome.
Well, I love my ravens.
Oh, man. Ravens are awesome. Again, no problem with crows whatsoever. Oh, that's neat. That's neat. Yeah, I guess that's the end of my story on psychics and your favorite word, sorry, and animals. But it was so bizarre that they had all these decidedly odd black animals. We only just like officially started getting black squirrels in my neighborhood, in my area, like my county, 1 year ago.
That's crazy, man.
This happened several years ago, so it was very isolated too. Gifts. Yeah. You know what? That's an interesting question when it comes to not only animals and stuff like that, but Bigfoot. I don't know if you're aware of the whole Bigfoot thing and gifting.
Oh yeah, absolutely, buddy.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
That's
Richie,
fantastic stuff.
B. Yes, Richie B and Mr. Wojo. Yes, absolutely. Oh yeah.
Good stuff.
And gifting's okay. Up in Gettysburg, there's Sachs Covered Bridge, and they say that after when the battle ended up there in Gettysburg, it was Civil War, 1863. That three soldiers got hung by three Confederate soldiers got hung because they were deserters.
Okay.
And there was this one spirit. The dude's from Tennessee. No shit. He's from Tennessee. And he loves all the attention in the world. So what I do is at one point in time, every year, I go up every year, I leave him a cigarette. I leave him a match. I don't give him no whiskey though, but because I don't drink. But I leave him a cigarette and I leave him a match. And I have learned more. I've gotten more, activity with him by just doing that, by gifting. You can gift spirits. Oh, she says, I love chit-chatting with all little critters, sentient beings, and the universal messages they bring.
Oh, yeah. That's pretty nice.
Oh, they bring a lot of messages. And whenever you talk to an animal, like I talk to my crows, I completely open my mind. And the ravens, I open my mind. I don't, and I just listen. A lot of people say that if you hear in the back of your head that, that's you, right? No, it isn't. It's what is being told to you by that animal or by any other. Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And that's the way I listen. I completely open my mind and I listen to what they have to say. If it's a good morning. I remember one time, how do you like this one? This is true. This is true. I used to go out to this park one time, all the time to meditate. So I'm in my spot meditating, right?
Yeah.
And I come out of it. There was a mama raccoon with her babies sitting there looking at me, just looking at me. They knew I had no food, but they were there looking at me. That like kind of creeped me out.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Congratulations, hon.
She's very cool.
Part of the band. She's part of the banter crew. That's sweet.
What's the banter crew?
It's Richie B and Mr. Wojo. They hunt Bigfoot. They're Bigfoot hunters.
Okay.
Yeah. And she goes, I've taken animal communication courses, and yes, open your crown chakra. And I say, hello. Boulder Psychic taught that. Yeah, it's true. I didn't know about the crown chakra. That's right here. That's on top of your head.
Yeah,
You ask your buddy JJ about that stuff. And
I'll ask JJ about that. She actually has told me a few times. It's like, God, your crown chakra is like blinding right now. I was like, really? Why?
It's like wide open. But Heidi's right. You just open up your mind, and don't think of anything else. That's just like when you go into a meditation. You keep your mind open. You just keep it open. And then visualize in your mind. Oh my God, Gary, where in the hell you been, buddy? That's my buddy, Gary.
That's all kinds of reunions happening here. That's great.
Oh yeah. I mean, it's
Joe
just
came on and got Gary.
Gary, Heidi. Oh my gosh, this is great, man. Oh wow. I'm blushing.
Well, welcome to the show, Gary.
Yeah.
The last 10 minutes of it.
But no, I really
nonetheless.
I really had a great time today.
Me too. We still have a few minutes, so we don't have to jump out just yet.
Throw me out a question. Throw that.
I'll kick you out when it's time. But one of the final things I'll probably want to to ask you about was, and naturally it just went away. Oh, Gary's been sick with the flu. That's too bad, dude.
Sorry about
I
that,
got
brother.
sick with that. I hope you feel better, man. See the brightness around you, crown and green and yellows in your aura. Oh, thank you. Green and yellows. That's intriguing. Well, let's go there. When I was very little, I think I talked about this on your show, I could see auras. Still can. It takes a little more focus now, but I can still see them. And my color variant, that's not the word I want to use. My interpretation of the colors did not match what most people who see auras interpreted. They interpreted emotions with. It's okay. I'm glad you're happy you're Heidi. I don't see the same emotional responses in the color spectrum that a lot of other aura readers do. For instance, red. It's very plain. Red is angry. If it's purple, it's like malevolent, if it's blue, you're in a pretty good mood. Yellow means you're in a very peaceful place, to my interpretation. But I don't match a lot of aura readers things, even if there are books out on it. So, but it's always been really, really weird. But I appreciate. Does yellow and green mean anything specific to you, Heidi? I guess that's my question.
Brian. Oh, Lord, that was a good one, dude, Gerd. That was a good one.
Said something very funny.
He said, "Thanks so much. I'd rather be
answer.
Possessed. At least I would know what's going on with me."
I'll put it up there briefly. There it is.
That's
what he about being sick.
Yeah.
That's what he said about being sick. It's good stuff. But Heidi, do you have an interpretation for these colors? I'm curious to know.
Maybe she's checking it up with the colors. Who knows? To me,
interesting.
Now, see, to me, the way I view the different color orbs, if I see a red one, it's pissed off. An orange one, it's angry. Here she goes. My sister always could see auras easily, and I never really tried. Oh, go ahead. Yellow's peace, green's grounded is my first. Yeah, you're like so laid back, dude. It's so true. That's what your aura means. You're a laid back dude, man, from California. Probably a stoner or something like that.
Yeah.
Heidi, what are my colors, hon? What are my colors, Heidi?
I'd have to really focus.
You got a couple minutes, Heidi. What are my colors? I appreciate you being in them. Thank you. Hey, Sebastian, good to see you, my man. He snuck in there on me. Good. No.
Cool. Thanks for tuning in, man.
Yeah. But, that's good.
Yellow and green, very calming. Oh, very good.
Yeah,
very
Gary's good people. Sebastian's good people. Heidi's just super duper awesome. And, in fact, all my friends up there are very super duper awesome.
Well, thanks for visiting my show. I appreciate it.
Oh, man, I had a great time.
Yeah, it's kind of hard with the background. Yeah, I had the same problem. I need a plain background.
Oh, man. Heidi, you can tell me later, okay? You can tell me later. I know you don't want to say it's black and red and like orange. I
haven't seen so many colors in your background.
Is that what it means? So many.
Well, it's your city background that it's.
Yeah. All righty. Thank you for having me on, my friend.
Well, no problem, man. We still have 2 minutes at least.
Okay. Yeah, you want to be careful. You got Michelle coming in,
Is she? Okay. I'll be careful.
I'm not. No,
how much lead time does she need?
Oh, I don't know. I don't know.
What's the indigo blue?
Heidi, Michelle coming on next? Indigo blue. I've heard of that. That's
indigo is a nice color. It means you're in space. From what?
And blue means that exactly, Tim. But in my mind's eye too, I see indigo.
Oh,
That is
fantastic. I can't see things in my mind's eye regarding auras per se. Um,
okay.
Sometimes I'll get flashes during an investigation, like I could pick up on spiritual intention once in a
Hmm.
great while. But it's, it's interesting. There's a lot of indigo in that beautiful. Oh yeah, there is a lot of indigo. That's very nice. But
That's my
I
city,
visualize it.
Heidi. That's my city, Heidi. That's Pittsburgh,
Pittsburgh,
Pennsylvania.
nice.
Hmm.
Now it's interesting. You're from Pittsburgh. You're from there.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
Grew up here. Was born here.
Am I
Yes.
wrong? Because I'm from California. I don't know better. I've only heard. Is there such thing as a Yinza accent in Pittsburgh?
Yinzer. It's a Yinzer.
Yinzer.
Yinzer. Yinzer. Oh
Yinzer.
yeah, there are Yinzers, dude. It is an accent. It is a vocabulary. We have our own
Okay.
vocabulary. Yeah, Yinzers.
Gotcha.
Yes, and down there in that, you hear me say that. Baloney, we call that jumbo. Rubber bands, we call them gum bands. Instead of saying slippery, we say slippy. Um, you know,
That's great, Slippy. I love it.
yes, is oh, you just Google Pittsburghese. That's all you have to do is Google it, dude. Gary's a Yinzer. Yeah, Gary's
Yeah.
a Yinzer.
That's
Thank you,
fantastic.
Heidi. Oh, Gary's a Yinzer. Oh, big time Yinzer. Yeah, yeah.
Is it really?
Oh, yeah.
Mhm.
Go on YouTube and type in Yinzer, and you'll be hearing the words because we have our own accent, we have our own dialect, we have our own words, we have our
That's true.
Pittsburghese. That's what you have
Pittsburghese. I
to.
like it.
That's what it's called, buddy. That's what it's called.
Right
I'm
on.
proud.
Oh, that's so cool. So
But
okay.
orders
So where
are
does
the-
Pennsylvania Dutch come in?
That's the Germans. That's out east, east of Pennsylvania.
Oh, okay.
That would be
Okay,
the
gotcha.
Germans. There are a lot of Amish out there.
Oh, that makes sense. Okay, gotcha,
Yeah.
gotcha. Okay.
Pennsylvania, Ohio, Michigan are really big with the Amish people out here. You both have amazing energy. Well, thank you, Miss Heidi.
Oh, thank you, Heidi. Thank you so much.
But yeah, it's the Amish, and boy, they can bake. You know how you get one of them like strawberry tarts in the store? You know, the little round ones?
Sure. Yeah.
Well, their strawberry tarts are a pound. They're a pound of very little filling and a lot of dough. Yeah, they're a pound. But the
Okay.
Amish are good people. The Amish. Then we got the Mennonites out here, so and they kind of work hand in hand. But the Amish are good people. I will go find them one. I will find them one. But you have to give me your address one day, here, buddy, and we can do it. Kansas. Oh, okay. Kansas has Amish and Mennonites. Yeah, but they're all Germans, basically Germans. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm German descent, Dutch, I think.
In Pennsylvania, Dutch cooking is very, 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 very good. Their noodles aren't what you get out of a box, dude. Them noodles are huge, and they're homemade. Everything is homemade, and it's like,
oh yeah, I've heard.
Oh my God,
I've heard the tales.
Oh yeah, their chicken noodle soup, dude. That's one of the perks about being in Pennsylvania. You got the Amish. But seriously, dude, you got to go Google Pittsburghese, and it's not easy. It's ESE, and it'll tell you our own vocabulary. Yeah. Instead of you know how you in a shopping cart, right? We call them buggies.
Buggies.
Yep. Buggies.
It's not soda. It's pop.
Yep. Oh yeah. Soda does not count in Pittsburgh. It's pop. It got to be pop.
It's pop.
Someone comes in and says soda. We won't acknowledge
Look
them.
out. All right, that's it. We got to wrap it up. Shawn, thank you so much for being on the show. I can't believe it.
You,
thank
Tim.
you for those in the
Thank
chat
you.
for joining us. It's been a blast having you here. And
Good
with
seeing
that
you, Heidi.
said, we will Yes, good seeing all of you. With that said, I will say goodnight.
Yes.
And see you
Good
next
night.
time.
If you have a paranormal experience that you would like to discuss on the show, please email us at paranormal.insight.podcast@gmail.com. That's paranormal.insight.podcast@gmail.com.